Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by. So today I will be doing a K-beauty product, and this is from Rire Glow Cover Cushion, and this is in the cover light beige, and this is what it looks like. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's black and gold. And then you open it, it has the puff right here. This is the same as the age 20s. And then the cushion is right here. It looks way darker. It looks way darker, and you apply it and it really just changes and blends to your face, to your skin tone, I mean. So, I tried and used this, and I was just kind of wanting to really like it because it does have beeswax in there, not synthetic, actual beeswax. So I'm really surprised because most of the K-beauty products usually kind of stay away from beeswax, like natural beeswax, and I'm allergic to beeswax. So I have been using this and different kinds of different primers. So this is actually very, very beautiful. From my experience alone, if you don't need to glide it, you just tap it and it covers so beautifully, like full coverage pretty much, but it doesn't have like that kind of it doesn't have like that thick feeling that you get, and it doesn't feel like you're wearing something that much for how much coverage you get. From my experience as well, this can go with something like, if you have a really good hydrating primer, like the Revlon primer, a very hydrating primer. So it's up to you what kind of hydrating primer you're going to use. I used a kind of a lightweight, well, not necessarily lightweight, but I guess I have more of a heavier duty kind of hydrating primer, and I have normal to dry skin now, normal dry skin combination. So this is oily, the rest of my face is normal kind of, and the way I prevent it from being dry is just making sure I take care of my skin morning and night. So when I did just use a kind of it's supposed to be a hydrating primer, but it's not more of the heavier duty hydrating primer. Like, it's just hydrating. It's not like incredibly hydrating, if that makes any sense to anybody. It started to look kind of like maybe I needed more hydration. And I do put a lot of product on my face from skincare, but I just need a little bit more. So just to be aware, if you do have kind of a normal skin, this can be more of a drying side, but it is slightly tacky when I did touch it, so I had to touch it up with a little bit of powder, and that little bit of powder really kind of thicken it up. So I would kind of say, just kind of, if you can, don't really set it with powder, just mix the powder and just do a setting spray instead. I think that would be better. And make sure that you do a setting spray that actually is one of those like water resistant, waterproof ones, because I was using the Mario Badescu one time, and this like kind of melted a little bit. So just so you know, if you don't want to go through with that, use something heavier duty. I typically use the NYX Dewy spray, and that works great with me. And then you can just update it with the, like kind of spray afterwards with the Mario Badescu if you want to. That's okay too. So this one right here, when you open it, this is this is a sponge. And when you do put it on this puff, what happens is that the product is just kind of like there. You don't rub it in because it's already a sponge. So you just kind of tap it like kind of hard or kind of gently. But to me, I tap it once or twice. If once is more of like a lighter foundation if you want to, and you don't really spread it as much. I do 2 taps. I prefer the 2 taps just because it really covers the redness right here. I just have naturally like rosy cheeks, and so I try to cover that, and also my under eyes. I don't use this every day. Like if I'm testing it, I'm not using this every day. I use it maybe 3 times in a week. The reason I do that is because it has beeswax. And also another reason is when I do use this, it stings my face. It stings, it kind of burns a little bit. It doesn't itch, but it stings and it kind of burns. So I do know that the beeswax content in there is high enough that it's already giving me like a bad vibe to it, like physically hurting my skin, my face. So I use it very sparingly. You don't need a lot. I really do wish that they didn't use beeswax in this because it's such a beautiful product. I completely love this. The only problem is I don't think I can continue to wear this after I've been testing it out because it has beeswax in there, and at some point I'm going to have a really bad reaction to it. And I'm going to have to need medication. So I don't really want to do that. I try to stay away from medication as much as possible. So if you're not allergic to beeswax and you want something that is really heavy duty, really easy on the budget, but it has more of a lightweight response to your face, and it looks like my face was just flawless when I used this. I used a different thing today because I used this yesterday, and again, I don't want to use this every day, and it irritates my skin every time I do use it, but I was testing it for you guys, so the sacrifices I make. It is long wear, but I also did test this out with just the Mario Badescu spray. And I didn't use any finishing spray. And it does last you, it lasted me all day. However, I don't know. I always kind of feel like, I feel a little bit more assured that if I use a setting spray over it. It just, I kind of felt like later in the day, it kind of vanished a little bit around this area, but also, you know, I was eating, talking a lot and things like that. This area is always like the typical area for everybody to, like, you lose your makeup product from this, especially like your foundation, because you're moving this so much, versus like your forehead or like your cheeks right here. You're not really using that as much as like right here. For me anyway. Again, I do recommend this. And don't worry, everything is going to be linked down below. My current skincare routine, what I have on my face right now, as well as this product where you can get this. I believe this come in 2 or 3 different colors, which is very typical to K-beauty makeup. And I believe this is also a foundation. It's such a shame that it has beeswax in there and I'm allergic to it. But other than that, it's great. If you have oily skin, this might be really, really great for you. I would suggest you do put in, a pore primer, or like one of those blurring primers for your pores, because this will sink in just like every other foundation. It will sink into your pores, even though they always say, oh, it's great, like it'll never get into your pores. It always does. This didn't really crease in the lines. I'm really great about it. This can crease if you put like powder. And I would suggest you try a little bit if you want to. I would suggest just try a setting spray first. And if that works out for you and you're okay with it, I don't really think you might need any kind of setting powder, any kind of powder at all. But if you feel like you need something else, do it very, very lightly. Add a little bit of powder on it, because this will, like, you don't really need a lot for it to set. And if you do a lot of powder in it, or even just more than very light application, what could happen is that it will just go into your lines, and that's not really pretty to look at. And I'm pretty sure everybody out there who will experience that will hate the whole day. So those are my suggestions from my personal experience. Aside from that, let's see the smell again. It smells beautiful, just like a lot of K-beauty makeup that I've tried so far. It does smell really beautiful. It's very light. When I apply it on my face, I kind of smell it when I'm applying it like right here, and then it dissipates really quickly. It's not one of those that really linger and you kind of like really annoyed with the fragrance, which is a lot of like Western company products usually. So that's always a big plus for me when it comes to like K-beauty products. I give this a 2 thumbs up, and I do give this a 3 out of 5 stars. The reason I give it 3 out of 5 stars is because this is not non-comedogenic, and it has beeswax in there, which is kind of, it should be higher on the allergen scale due to it's not as common for a lot of people to have the beeswax allergy, but I believe it's just harder to diagnose, and a lot of people don't really know how to diagnose that they do have a beeswax allergy. I was having beeswax allergies for years, and the doctors would just tell me I had dermatitis, and they wouldn't even tell me like what I was allergic to. Like they just, there's just no care. Like we need to improve our medical system in America, people. But anyway, that's a different topic. I do recommend it, but just make sure if you are allergic to beeswax. I had somewhat of a bad reaction. I didn't really break out yet, but I also didn't use this every day. I don't really know if I use this minimum 3 times in a week, in a week, and then for a whole year. Sometimes that happens. Like I'll be using a product with beeswax, and I won't really have the effect right away. Like it won't be as bad. And then after a week, or after a year or so, that's when it like all the problems pop up. So anyway, recommend. I hate that it has beeswax, and for anybody else there that has beeswax allergy, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out for us. I hope you enjoyed my video, that you're going to give it a thumbs up, as well as, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. If there are other skincare products or makeup products that you guys believe I would really enjoy to try out, especially K-beauty products, let me know down below. I would love to hear from you guys, and I would love all the tips, suggestions, and advice. Thank you so much, guys. And before I forget, the puff works great. I don't need a sponge. I don't need a brush. This works perfectly. So you don't need anything else. All right. I think I just kind of forgot to say that. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.